It's finally here. After more than 8 years since the launch of the original Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2 has arrived. Let's take a look at what 8 years of innovation looks like for Nintendo. I was able to secure a Switch 2 reservation during the chaotic pre-orders on April 24th. It seemed like all the retailers, at least for me, were experiencing some sort of issue, from the items being removed from the cart to not being able to complete the checkout process. The whole pre-order system seemed like a huge mess. After more than an hour, and to my surprise, I finally got confirmation that my order had gone through at Best Buy. The Switch 2 officially launched on June 5th, and I was able to pick up my order from Best Buy quickly with no issues. I also picked up a Pro controller so we can compare any notable differences between the original Pro controller and the Switch 2's Pro controller. Let's start with the display and design differences between the two Nintendo Switch systems. The original Switch features a 6.2-inch 720p LCD display, which looks tiny when compared to the new 7.9-inch 1080p LCD display on the Switch 2. The original Switch was also capped at 60Hz, with the Switch 2 upgrading to 120Hz and HDR support for a much smoother gaming experience, with a wider range of brightness and colors. This may come as a bit of a disappointment for those that expected the new Switch to come with an OLED screen, but I'm sure an OLED version will be released in a year or two as the hype dies down for this version of the Switch 2. Here's a quick PSA. The Switch 2 comes with a permanent plastic film on the screen that makes the screen very easy to scratch. So if you want to keep your Switch from getting scratched, I'd recommend getting a proper screen protector as soon as you can. I'll leave the one I'm using linked in the description. If you'd like to see a video of me covering other Switch accessories I recommend, let me know in the comments. As for overall dimensions, the original Switch comes in at 9.4 inches wide and 4 inches tall. The Switch 2 is bigger in both dimensions with a width of 10.5 inches and 4.5 inches tall. Both devices keep the same thickness at roughly half an inch thick. The new Switch 2 also drastically improves the kickstand to something that is actually usable and quite versatile, whereas the original Switch's kickstand could barely be called a feature, as the slightest nudge or uneven surface would make it useless at holding up the device. The Switch 2 has two USB ports, one on the top and one on the bottom, making it much more convenient to charge while using the kickstand, or to charge and connect another device like the Nintendo camera if you're planning on using the new game chat feature. The overall design of the Switch 2 feels like a refinement, a more grown-up version of the original, improving functionality with a more subtle color scheme. If you're enjoying the video, do me a favor and hit the like button. It really goes a long way in helping support the channel and allowing me to make more videos like these. Speaking of color, let's talk about these improved Joy-Cons and the new Pro controller while we're at it. The new Joy-Cons are a massive upgrade to the originals. They snap on with magnets and create a satisfying click. No more sliding Joy-Cons to attach them. Interestingly enough, because of the uniformity of this magnetic mounting system, you can even place the right Joy-Con on the left side and vice versa. I'm not sure anyone would intentionally do this, but in case you were curious like me, yes, they still work, even on the wrong side. I'm also really happy to see that they've improved the size of the shoulder buttons. The original Joy-Cons had annoyingly tiny shoulder buttons, which made it difficult to play using a single Joy-Con for any significant amount of time. The larger overall size of the new Joy-Cons paired with these much larger shoulder buttons will make for a much more pleasurable gaming experience for games like Mario Kart and Mario Party when you have friends over. One feature these new Joy-Cons have that the originals don't is this new mouse mode. By attaching the included Joy-Con straps, you can play select games as if you're holding a PC mouse. I'm not sure how comfortable that would be for long gaming sessions or across different surfaces, but I'll have to wait until I do my full review for a final verdict on this feature. As for the new Pro controller, it looks deceptively like the old one, but does have a few upgrades worth mentioning. The new Pro controller claims to charge at roughly half the speed of the old one, taking 3.5 hours versus 6 hours to charge completely. They both provide an estimated 40 hours of playtime on that full charge. There's also improved rumble features and better feeling thumbsticks that both help provide a more immersive gaming experience. As for the more visible changes, the new Pro controller has two programmable buttons on the backside of the grips, the new game chat button, and a headphone jack for you to connect headphones similar to a PS5 or Xbox controller. If you have the original Pro controller and these features don't really matter to you, I'm happy to say the original Pro controller and original Joy-Cons for that matter will still work with the Switch 2. The only other feature you'll be missing is the ability to wake the console from these older controllers when it's docked. Now let's talk about the feature that I'm most excited about with this new console. 4K gaming while docked thanks to that new custom NVIDIA chip and 12 gigabytes of RAM. My original Switch has been played probably something like 90 to 95% of the time docked. It's the main reason why I never felt the need to upgrade to the OLED Switch, since both the original and OLED Switch have the same output of 1080p to a TV when docked. But now, with a new dock that includes a built-in fan and an Ethernet port for a more stable internet connection, I can make the most of my near permanent docked gaming experience with this new Switch in beautiful 4K. Unfortunately, the 120Hz refresh rate in handheld mode does not translate to the docked experience in 4K. The video output will be capped at 60Hz when gaming at 4K resolution. If higher refresh rate is your preference, you can still get 120Hz when docked, but it will come at the cost of resolution, going down to 1440p. With that said, not all games will support these different resolutions, so you'll need to check the specific game to see what gaming modes it supports. It's not all improvements though. The Switch 2 is actually quoted with less battery life than the original thanks to that larger and much improved display. The official numbers from Nintendo are 2 to 6.5 hours of battery life, with the Switch 2's 5,220 milliamp hours of battery in comparison to 4.5 to 9 hours of battery life with the original Switch's 4,310 milliamp hours of battery. At launch, the original Switch was priced at $300, where the new Switch retails at $450 for the console alone, or if you can find one bundled with the Mario Kart World game, comes in at $500. A Nintendo Switch costing as much as a PS5 is not something I expected to say in 2025, but here we are. The original Switch came with a very limited 32 gigabytes of storage, and if you wanted to have more than just a few games installed, could do so by expanding it with a micro SD card. The Switch 2 comes with 8 times more storage at 256 gigabytes, which is the same as the base storage as a new MacBook Air, which is also something I did not expect would be true in 2025. The Switch 2 also has a way to expand that storage, but unfortunately, that is with the microSD Express card. These cards can read and write faster than standard microSD cards, but that means that you won't be able to use any microSD cards from the original Switch with the new Switch 2. If you made it this far, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Luis, and I have a background in human-centered design and engineering, which I use to share how tech can solve our problems and improve our lives. If that sounds like something you'd be into, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my upcoming videos. So, should you upgrade? If you love gaming on the go, crave smoother visuals, or want to connect with friends in new ways, the Switch 2 is a massive leap forward. For longtime Nintendo fans, it's everything we've been asking for, and a few surprises I'm not sure we really needed. Let me know in the comments, what feature are you most excited about, and would you ever use that game chat feature? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more honest, human-centered tech reviews. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to nerd out with me. I'll catch you in the next one.